I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, Daryl.
Oh, next on the agenda, we have is approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Approval of claims for payment.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a recorder's monthly report for June, the month of June.
I'll make a motion to accept, approve the recorder's monthly report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now we have change of status at the assessor's office. And we have a Rolene Bergman for temporary seasonal part-time at $11 an hour.
Do we have Don in the rooms or anything that?
No, I've used her before at that.
That's what I thought.
We're just updating she's gonna be coming in August for us.
Make a motion to approve that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next, we have two for conservation, a Jacob Johnson and a Rob Allen.
First one's Jacob Johnson. That's a hire for $10 an hour as a position of park aide in the conservation department. Working a couple months to help out. Let's make a motion to accept that.
Oh, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
And the next one we have is a resignation from Rob Allen from the Conservation Department. So I will move to accept that.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? He's also our weed commissioner. And is that part of the motion of accepting his resignation from weed commissioner as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Rob's been with us for a while. He's been a good worker. He's moving closer to his family up north, Cerro Gordo County. So taking a little step up. We'll miss him.
Last day of work will be on the 13th. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next I have is Community Service Department change of status.
Lynn's got added responsibilities with the region now, and he's moving closer to the average salary of the region's, the other regional directors for the counties. Region pays most of the salary. Medicare pays part of that salary. We just assign it. So I make a motion to approve the change of status for Lynn Adams.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? On the change of status, one of the things we're looking at is currently he's at 1950 hours a week or a year, and we're moving him to 2,080 hours a year. and that with the same base, which it gets them close to 64.5 from the same salary based on those hours. Another thing I look at on this is the region's paying this. It gets thrown to us by the region. I'm not happy that the supervisors set the wage. I believe the region should set the wage on this. It's kind of a question I've been bringing up through all the other supervisors that I've talked to. He gets paid by the region and the county sets his wage, is one of my questions. I know they have been working on it, but it's still, it sounds good that it doesn't cost the county any extra money to give them a raise because it's through the region, but we still pay the region for these wages. Any other comments?
Not arguing at all what you said. That's basically true. We had a good discussion at our meeting last week, and we do need more information from the region if the county is to set the salaries. And we do believe that down the road, the region will be assigned to set salaries. And so we're going to work on providing more information before we work on our next budget year, to be able to be more educated on the responsibilities that the region gives these directors. And I will have to say though, and you guys know it, that their job assignment is much greater now that we're working region and county. But it's going to evolve and it's going to change over time. So the region still hasn't set exactly job details as of to what they're going to end up doing in a year from today. So as long as they keep us informed, I think that we'll be better off than we were this time.
I guess my problem with it right from the start was when this was first approached to us, Lynn came in and the first thing was said that we were at the bottom of the pay scale of what everybody else is getting. And there's some pretty good salaries going on in this region. And my comment back right away was, who's in charge of it? You know, because as soon as we take our guy off the bottom, the next person that's on the bottom, their supervisors are going to go, I don't want to be on the bottom, and then they're going to get raised up. And so basically it's just a race to the top on wages. And it's really going to get out of control on us fast if something's not done by that board. And that is a new board, so I'm not coming down on the board because it's such a new board. And Lynn is doing a great job. I'd probably be against this. We are adding hours to him, so I can see that. But you know, as I believe we're going to 65, and that still makes him second to last, I guess you would say, on the pay scales. And we've heard rumors other counties are making big jumps already. And so, you know, I guess you got to sit back and ask yourself, why such high wages? This is about helping people that don't have any money, yet we seem like we want to pay people a lot of money to help people with no money. Something in my mind doesn't click on that. So the board really needs to take control and set these wages, and I think they should be the same for each county for working with the region. And here's the wage. If you like it, you like it, or you know, they find someone else. So I hope they do that sooner than later.
Job responsibilities for these guys keep evolving, and they will keep evolving over time. So it's hard to get a handle on it right now. And everybody should be settling in with their job responsibilities here within a year, I would hope. And it's hard to say where they'll be at in a year or two.
See, I don't buy it.
The region could be taking the responsibilities of setting salaries here in a few years.
I realize it's new to them, but I guess I don't buy the philosophy it's more work, because each of them are doing it in their county. So really the only more work is they're getting together as a region and learning new rules, but when they come back, it's still really the same thing. Actually, case management has changed. There's a lot of things that are changing. So job
responsibilities are changing. They're still working through the county, but they're working with other counties. They're overlapping jobs. They're setting new 2080s with the state and with the other and with counties. There's been a lot of work that's been created that wasn't there before with this region. And once everything's set up and functioning, there probably will be less responsibilities.
If that's the goal of the going to regionalization, is to have.
Well, it's standardized care.
Yeah.
That's the big
Right.
thing. Is we want all the counties to have standardized care for their clients, and there are some counties that weren't functioning in the black, like we were, and we're trying to standardize and offer the same services and be more responsible with our funds, with our taxpayer dollars. So,
I guess I just want, I mean, it's just, again, when you go out and learn something new, that's not more work, that's just learning something new. And to reward that with a higher wage, just because I have to do a different job duty, doesn't necessarily mean I get more money to learn a different job duty, because some will fall off that they were doing before. So I know it'll be a tough
it
as the board going
even
through.
it complicates it even more when some of our mental health directors not only have regional responsibilities, county responsibilities, but they have responsibilities outside of mental health for the county. Yeah, so their salaries are elevated a little bit because they have more responsibilities above and beyond. So trying to get a handle on all of that was pretty difficult with just being a region for a year.
One of the things you brought up was that after a couple of years when they get it, then all this excess work they're doing will now fade off. Does that mean their salaries are going to fade off as well? Would it be easier to compensate them up front for the 2 years and then keep them at a lower salary?
The discussion that I brought up at our last meeting was a good discussion, and some of these things were brought up, and we're going to take a close look at it as we move forward. Yes.
I just wanted to ask why the change from 1950 to 2080 for the hours for the year.
One thing
You're
is,
going from 37.5 to 40, but
I did talk to other counties, and most of theirs at their wages based on a 40-hour week.
so are you moving his staff to 40?
Not at this time, no.
You get to do what you want. It's just that when it applies to payroll, there's some things that it becomes a little bit nightmarish to convert people who already have vacation on the books at a certain accrual and earning to a new system. And if he didn't bring that to you, I just would like to caution that to you. If he asked for this change, whatever.
He didn't ask for the change. This is something we talked about.
That's where I have a hiccup. I'm not real fond of changing the 1950 to 2080, and I have no comment on the salary part. This is just strictly, why are we changing the hours if it doesn't need to be? That's, I guess, why I'm asking, because if he brought it and said we need to do this, great, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but if you're just throwing it in there and trying to make it a little bit more palatable, I would like to not do that. From the perspective of doing payroll, because converting him from one system to another, it takes a lot of legwork to make it happen. I'm not saying we can't do it, we can, and we'll do whatever you tell me, but if it's just because you want to do it, then I caution that and think maybe you can address that later.
Okay. Well, from us, we could keep it at the 1950 with the salary hike. It'd have to be an amendment of your motion.
I guess what's the problem with going with 40 hours a week?
There's not a problem.
Okay.
It's just that I have to convert not only all of his future, he has to be on a different system to earn for the future, but we also have to take what he's already accrued and earned and has on the books and decipher how you're going to convert that from that system over to here. Are you gonna leave the hours intact and put them on the new system? Are you gonna convert them to days and then award days and convert back to hours? It's just a lot of legwork to make it go from one system to the other. If there's no real push to do that, I'd love to see you leave it. If there is a reason to do it, great, we'll get it done.
I guess my biggest reason is, or one of the reasons would be I'd like to see everybody working 40 hours a week, not 37 and a half.
Then that's your reason. But
Is he exempt or not exempt? Because it makes no difference if you're exempt. Whether you work 1950 or 2500. You're
Agreed.
responsibility.
agreed, but when you earn vacation at a set rate,
I can see
Right.
that.
and that,
I agree with you because
that's the part that it
if he's
becomes a
exempt,
problem.
you leave it at 1950.
Right. Exactly. Because he is exempt. So he'll work 5,000 hours if you tell him he needs to. But for bookkeeping on payroll side, he's at 1950. That's just my 2 cents worth.
I don't have another penny.
I'm broke.
Lynn's gonna, every time I go over there, Lynn's working, I mean, he'll
Oh, yeah,
put
there's
in
no
his-
question
yeah,
about-
He'll put
yeah.
in, and we gotta make sure that we make that point, that he'll put in his 40 hours,
Yeah.
even no matter what we say.
He's already doing that, I'm
He's
pretty
already
sure
doing
that,
that, yeah. So, in fact, I usually go over the noon hour and he has a sandwich in front of him and he's still
Mhm.
working, so. So, I'd like to make an amendment to the motion to strike the statement to increase due to additional job duties, responsibilities of Central Iowa Case Management Director, and rebasing to 2080 hours per year, and go back to our 1950 where we were before.
Do you have an effective date?
July 1st is what we talked about.
Oh, we were going to, yeah, July 1st. The date of the change of status is 7/16/2014. But we were going to retro that to the first.
We talked about that, so it's however you want to make your motion.
I'll make a motion then to add on to that amendment to make this change of status to be retro to July 1st, 2014.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on the amendment. Any discussion? I gotta vote on the amendment first, correct? All in favor, say aye. On the
Aye.
amendment? Aye. Motion carries on the amendment. Now, all in favor on the motion of the change of status, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have is utility permits, secondary roads department.
No utility permits. Right, Nancy?
Right.
We're still working on dust control areas so that they can come back and put their second application on. We're also hauling riprap to flood damaged areas. So we do have the retriever disc out on some of the paved roads and gravel, reclaiming some of the rock from the shoulders.
Anything else? Next, we'll go to other business. Hearing none, I'll ask for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.